These are the faces of genocide.
It's a jihad. Islam is the motivation behind it.
A 10-year-old civil war in Sudan has pitted the military regime of the north against the Christians of the south. More than 600,000 Christians have perished, simply because they believe in a God unrecognized by the Muslim majority. As Islam grows in strength, might the scenario of southern Sudan be repeated elsewhere in Africa? Will a clash of cultures and rising religious intolerance ignite a continent-wide holy war?
Islam is getting more and more followers in Africa. All people now are coming fewer and fewer, but the young people are coming more and more. Islam gives them the sense of pride. We are happy to be Muslims, and the Muslim is growing more stronger than Christianity.
Islam is on the move in Africa, and its numbers are growing, especially in the eastern part of the continent. The Muslims say they now make up 99% of the population in Somalia, 55% in Tanzania, 45% of the people in Uganda are Muslims, they say, and 30% in Kenya. While their numbers may be a bit inflated, it's obvious there's a battle for souls in Africa, and sometimes this struggle turns to violence. In Egypt, Muslim extremists seem unrelenting in their efforts to overthrow President Hosni Mubarak and his pro-Western regime. In Kenya, government officials fear a rise of Islamic radicalism and heightened religious tensions. They confiscated a camera and other equipment belonging to CBN News. Government officials explained they did not want CBN News to bring you this report. As a result, CBN News was forced to gather portions of the video for this story with a home video camera. The vast majority of people living along the coast of eastern Kenya are Muslims. They say Christians are converting to Islam because of an extensive recruitment campaign financed by Iran and Arab countries like Oman and Saudi Arabia. And what do they think of the Christian minority in their towns and villages?
We call them brothers, but they are not really brothers because they have not joined to become Muslims.
Praising the Lord under a roof and four walls has not come easy for members of Diani Beach Pentecostal Assembly of God Church. Church leaders say it took more than 5 years to gain approval from town officials to build this church.
They didn't want it because they thought we could take the people from the Muslim to our church.
And has that been happening?
Oh, it has happened.
But not in numbers as large as the Christians would like. They say efforts for evangelism have been hampered here because of a lack of money and proper transportation. And they say they can't compete with the millions of dollars pouring into Africa from Middle East Muslims. While Muslims in East Africa are preaching prosperity and self-worth and winning converts that way, there's another side to Islam, when Islam is carried to the extreme, a radical, ugly side, as is prevalent here in southern Sudan.
The Arab Islamic fundamentalists in northern Sudan, they want to take over southern Sudan. The only thing that stands in the way is 7 million Christian animist Africans.
Dan Eef is field representative for Norwegian People's Aid in southern Sudan. He's had a first-hand glimpse of the decade-long civil war here. He's seen thousands die and has saved the lives of thousands of others. He says many atrocities committed against the southern Sudanese have been documented by human rights organizations and the Catholic Church. Sudanese Catholic priests sent this letter to the Pope detailing the Khartoum government's holy war against the Christians.
They have killed priests here. They have killed whole Christian communities. They've surrounded churches, and they've killed all the intelligentsia in the churches. This goes on in Juba, in the Wau, in the government-held towns.
CBN News joined Eef for a first-hand look at the forced starvation of the Sudanese Christians. 4.5 million of the 7 million Christians have been displaced from their homes. Most are Dinka tribesmen. They are cattle herders. They rely on beef and milk for their sustenance. But most of their cattle have been killed by government troops, and they've been forced to live on infertile, barren land. They are starving, and only a few humanitarian organizations have come to help.
For the last 2 months, we have lost 200 patients in the hospital.
Louis Garang is the doctor in charge of the Ashwa Hospital. He says military-style tents, those which can accommodate 200 patients, are desperately needed. That's because this hospital was designed for only 100 people. More than 450 are now crowded into the rooms and corridors here. Dr. Garang pleads with the international community to send food, trained doctors and nurses, and medicines to save the Sudanese Christians.
Without it, they will not live. Without it, they will all die, like you have just seen.